Hey guys, caring for your Fiddle Leaf Fig can be tricky AF. You can be overwatering it, underwatering it. You can be at risk of it getting too much light or too little. But are you changing your care routine for your Fiddle Leaf Fig over the winter months? To ensure a healthy and thriving Fiddle Leaf Fig, there are a slew of things that you should actually be doing over the winter months, and in this vlog I'm going to be sharing all of those tips. This is basically a Fiddle Leaf Fig over the winter care guide so that your Fiddle Leaf Fig can live its best life. Now, if you've had a Fiddle Leaf Fig for some time, you know just how much finesse it can take to really get yours to, look super healthy, be really healthy, and, just really it can be a super finicky and tricky plant to care for. So I just want to show you more than a few things that you can do to get your Fiddle Leaf Fig to really survive and even thrive over the winter months. Now, chances are if you have a Fiddle Leaf Fig at one point or another, you have probably overwatered your Fiddle Leaf Fig and had a leaf that's come out a lot smaller with a whole bunch of brown dots on it. Now that's exactly what happens when you overwater, and this leads me to my first tip for your Fiddle Leaf Figs over the winter months. So it's actually really crucial and pretty important to water your Fiddle Leaf Fig less over the winter months, and that's because it's probably receiving less sun, and it's not truly growing as much as it would in the spring and summer, so it needs less water. So your Fiddle Leaf Fig is going to be far better off if you just kind of take back the frequency and the quantity of how much you're watering it. Now, as you can see on this Fiddle Leaf Fig, this pretty much looks like the back. If I turn this around, you can see that most of the leaves are facing this direction. So next up is during the winter, and this kind of actually goes for all year round, but it's even more important during the winter months. Make sure you are rotating the container in your Fiddle Leaf Fig so that you don't end up with one like this, and it really is receiving light from all angles. So it will fare much better. So whether your Fiddle Leaf Fig is this size or whether it's this size, it's like I said, because the lighting conditions change during the winter, the sun is in a lower position, so that might mean something for your Fiddle Leaf Fig depending on where it's located. So I would suggest really considering, if it's small or large, finding a new spot for it where it's receiving that sort of filtered light or that really bright indirect light. So for me, that does mean that I do move my Fiddle Leaf Figs around from the spring and summer to a new home, usually for the winter months, as well as I try to rotate them as best I can. And again, because those lighting conditions really do change throughout the year, it's another reason to get a damp cloth and wipe down the leaves on a regular basis, but this is even more important obviously during those winter months when it may be receiving less light, that there isn't a buildup of dust, for example, on the leaves, and so that the plant can really photosynthesize and get as much as it possibly can out of the light that it is receiving. Now, you truly only need a damp cloth. You don't need to use any sort of fancy fancy products or solutions, just water. Some of those products can actually kind of clog up the pores on the foliage. So really you will get the furthest with, you know, a basic cloth with just some water and then wring it out so it's nice and damp. All right guys, I'm not sure if you can see or tell the difference, but I just wiped the left side and left the right side unwiped. So it does make a pretty big difference. Not sure how well that's showing up on camera. Now, beyond those tips, there are a whole bunch of things, well, not a whole bunch, a couple of things that you definitely do not want to do during the course of the winter months to your Fiddle Leaf Fig. So the first thing is, do not fertilize your Fiddle Leaf Fig over the winter months. It's not necessary and not a good idea. Also, it's not a good idea to prune your Fiddle Leaf Fig over the winter months as well, because of some of the reasons that I have already mentioned, like there's less light, and it's just not a great idea to do this over the winter. Now, if you have chosen to move your Fiddle Leaf Fig to a different location because it's winter and because you're trying to change up the light source or the type of light that it's receiving, just be sure to not not put your Fiddle Leaf Fig in a position where there's a draft or it's close to a door and it's going to have some sort of major fluctuation in temperature, because that's going to do a lot of harm to your Fiddle Leaf Fig. All right guys, so ultimately the best thing you can do for your Fiddle Leaf Fig over the winter is provide it with a ton of humidity. So if you don't already have a hygrometer, that's a little device that tells you what the humidity levels are in your home. Place it beside your Fiddle Leaf Fig. If it's, anything below 60, really, I would say 60% humidity, then, you're probably gonna wanna pick up a humidifier or place your humidifier close by to your Fiddle Leaf Fig, maybe for just a couple hours per day. Whatever it is, it's ultimately the best thing you can do for your Fiddle Leaf Fig over the winter to ensure its health and really that it's flourishing. All right guys, that's gonna be it for me in this vlog. I have a ton of dusting to get to, but definitely give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, and please leave a comment down below. Missed you guys already. Until the next one.